welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time since I've made any videos, clearly. And though this is titled as a swatch video for the collection that Angie, Dom, and I are releasing in memory of my brother, it's obviously a little bit more than that. I kind of disappeared out of nowhere out of 2019. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, my personal Facebook, I know I have several brands. Their owners follow me and other bloggers do. We're friends. I had posted on, I want to say the 22nd, it was a few days after everything happened, that on March 19th of 2019, I had lost my younger brother. That's my new cat. He passed away on March 19th of 2019 from an overdose. And I stopped swatching, and I stopped doing nail art videos, and I stopped doing everything at that time because I was in pain and I didn't want to. And even as the year progressed, I ended up moving away from the place I'd lived my entire life and moving here where I am now to where I have a studio. And I just couldn't bring myself to do nail art or anything. Robert and I used to spend a lot of time together while I painted my nails. He would come over in the middle of the night because I would usually make my videos and tutorials at the kitchen table because there wasn't space in my old house for me to have a studio. And he would spend time with me eating snacks. We'd watch movies while I did all of my stuff for videos because I voiced over everything, so it didn't matter like that we were sitting talking while I was swatching polishes and switching things out. And every time I would try to sit down to do something, to record anything, I just couldn't force myself to do it, and it would remind me of things, and so I put it off. And then about 8 months after he'd passed, I contacted Angie. She had been keeping in touch with me pretty regularly. I've had, I'd say 3 or 4 brands owners that I've really worked with before that kept in contact with me ever since everything happened. And I approached her about doing a collection in his memory, and she didn't even hesitate. She was like, yes. Immediately she was like, I will do anything, just let's do it. Tell me what we need. And that's kind of how this collection that I'm going to show in this video was born. I do plan to swatch more. I don't think I'm going to buy a bunch of collections from different brands as frequently as I used to, just because I've lost ties with a lot of them. Some of them I wasn't on great terms with when I just dropped off the face of the planet. I mean, I did communicate with all of the brands that I owed swatches to and that had collections coming out that I hadn't finished, and I told them, like, look, I can't. And they were all very understanding of it. It's just, I'm trying to slowly get back into things, not just 1,000 miles an hour. And even swatching this collection, as important as it was to me, was a lot for me. And it was very hard. So I'm just trying to do what I can, because I know that some people will be like, it's been 2 years, but for me, it has only been 2 years. And this is still something that's really hard for me not to tie to my brother. And it's still something that's really hard for me to discuss. I have good and bad days. There are days when people will post on my videos and tell me they miss me and I was just posting more, and I appreciate it and I feel great about it. And then there are days when the same comments just don't make me feel great because it reminds me of things. So it is something I am slowly working through. And it is something I am slowly dealing with in my own time. So as I get back into things, while I am still always going to be open to suggestions, just like I always have been, it might just take me more time to get to them. And that's perfectly fine. That's just something I have to do for me. It's very hard. This collection is very meaningful to me, and I did have a discussion with Angie about whether or not I would want to pull the collection eventually, and I've made the decision that as long as there is interest in it and people are willing to purchase it, I don't want to do that, because she has done so much for me and she has checked on me and been there for me a lot throughout everything, and I am comfortable with the fact that she helped me produce this and that she will be selling it, and that it will benefit not only her brand, but she is going to be donating a portion of proceeds. It's not going to be a big public thing, but she has quietly chosen a organization that helps with people struggling with substance abuse, and she will be donating a portion of the proceeds from this collection to that. I didn't want to personally choose an organization or a specific charity, so I left that up to her, because like I said, this has been really hard, and that alleviated a lot for me, for her to do that and to choose that organization and to research everything for it, rather than me trying to do that and pick one, because I dealt very closely already with a substance abuse program to get my brother into rehab in 2018 and dealt with that. So I truly appreciate everything she has done throughout this process. She has been so meticulous in getting these colors to be exactly what I wanted them to be, and to make them match so well with the meaning behind them. And I could not appreciate that more, and I don't think I could have seen myself doing this with any other person or brand. I was trying really hard not to cry, but here we are. I do want to say thank you to all the people that have reached out to me on Instagram, have left comments here, messaged me on Facebook, messaged me on Instagram. Everyone who has left comments on Reddit posts that I made before. I appreciate all of those, and I have seen them all, even if it seems like I haven't. I have literally tried to scroll through and like anything I've seen, just to let you know that I do appreciate that. I do appreciate the continued support, even during my pretty much continued absence for the past 2 years. And I know there are so many of you out there that have dealt with love members, like family members, that have struggled with addiction or are struggling with addiction, or you yourselves have struggled with addiction, and it's very hard. It is something that is very difficult to understand if you have not dealt with it or had somebody who has dealt with it close to you. And so at the end of this video, I will be linking numbers for the National Substance Abuse Hotlines that you can call, and they will help you locate rehabilitation services for you or a loved one anywhere you are in the country. I think really that kind of covers everything that I wanted to say. And so I will never not miss my brother. I don't think that will ever be a thing. But making this collection for him has made me very proud. And despite everything he struggled with, he was such a good person that deserved to get to do so much more. And I will just always love him. So, without further ado, I'm gonna try to calm down and stop crying, and this is the Remembering Robert collection. So this is the Remembering Robert collection. This swatch video is going to be kind of different from my other ones. Usually I give you very detailed descriptions of the polish and how many coats they take, but I'm going to explain more what each polish means and why I chose that color for this video. The first color in the collection, and the first one I designed, is Remembering Robert. This is a red linear holographic, and it's got larger glitter bits in it. And I chose red because red has always been Robert's favorite color. He had to have red cars, red hats. He bought these really hideous red tennis shoes that are still sitting in his room back home because, as ugly as they are, he loved them. And they're just, if you asked a favorite color, this is what it was red. He got his dream car from our cousin years ago, and it was white. So he hunted around until he could find the same car, but red. When I tell you that, like, that was the chef's kiss color for him, that was the chef's kiss color for him. There was nothing better for him. The next color we have is called I Got You. This is the same kind of formula as Remembering Robert, a linear hollow with bigger glitter. And I named this I Got You and made it gold because I Got You was like Robert's gold standard for me. For me, at least. I mean, for other people, I don't know, but if I asked him to do something and he told me I got you, I knew he was going to do it. He was actually going to follow through with what he was telling me. If he was like, yeah, sure, I knew that wasn't happening, I was going to have to ask again or remind him 6 more times. But if I went to him with an idea or something or needed his help and he was like, I got you, that was his gold standard with me, that yes, he was going to do it. He was going to make a note of it. He got me. He was going to take care of it. And so I couldn't pick any other name for a gold polish, and I really couldn't have paired a different color with this phrase. I just couldn't have, because that was his gold standard. It's just, I've heard that so much over the years. I got you, sis. This is called My Brother, and it actually pairs with the next polish, which is called My Friend. This is a black linear hollow, and the next one's a blue linear hollow with larger blue glitter bits. I chose black and blue because the ribbon for remembrance of a lost male sibling or family member is a black and blue ribbon. And so these colors go together. Because he was my brother, but growing up he was also my best friend, And as kids, we did everything together. And then we became teenagers and we fought all the time. And then as adults, we became best friends again. And we used to we weren't really big on texting each other, but we would send each other voice messages all the time. Just back and forth. Because if he was in the truck, because he was an over-the-road truck driver, it was easy for him to just send me a voice message and I could send one back. And I kind of regret that now because on iPhone and Android, if you don't set your settings to save voice messages, they disappear after so many hours. And I have never used that setting. I've never kept voice messages because it's a stupid conversation, but that's so many conversations that I don't have now, and it kind of sucks, but I mean, I'll remember them. I'll always remember that, but it sucks. But he was my best friend, and I could tell him crazy things, and he definitely told me crazy things, and so these polishes just go together. And my brother and my friend, and they're a perfect pairing. I'm trying not to cry. You can probably tell it's not going very well, but I was gonna try to just really be composed for this video, and it's not held up so good. I guess it's a good thing I didn't promise excellence, because I would not be delivering at this point if I had promised anyone excellence. But I think that everyone involved with this collection and everything, and people on my channel, you guys will understand it. This next polish is a purple linear holographic. It's not a surprise that my favorite color is purple. I've mentioned it about 1,000 times. And this polish is called I Love You, Sis. It is called that because while that is grammatically so incorrect, that is how my brother, signed things to me, is I love you, and then the little thing, sis, and my chair is squeaking, which is, I'm just not editing that out. And I brought up to him 4 or 5 times that was not grammatically correct. I was like, it should just be I love you, sis. No grammar in it. And he just he was never ever gonna learn. We have a sign that still sits on my parents' front porch that says the Joneses is. Because despite having explained to him that you put the apostrophe at the end of Jones and that makes it, Joneses, he still in shop put apostrophe S. So the sign will forever say the Joneses. Graduated with great grades. Just grammar, not his strong suit. It was never a passion of his, if you will. And he really didn't give a crap. He's like, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's fine. Don't worry about it. This last polish is called My Niece, and it has asterisks around it because it was designed by his niece, Anastasia. She chose teal because that was her favorite color at the time, and I chose this name because after Robert passed away, we found some of his papers from rehab, and my dad brought me this one where he listed off priorities to get clean and reasons to stay clean, and one of the top priorities was my niece, written with stars around it. Nothing else was starred, nothing else was written very boldly like that, nothing else was emphasized the way that was. So I have that paper and I will always have that. Because I knew that she was really important to him. And yeah. that will just always stay in my box of things. That is the full collection. They are set to release at noon today, and they will be available from the website that I will link in the description box. As I mentioned before, this is a national hotline in the United States that you can call, and they will refer you to rehabilitation centers and resources in your area.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see